Hi everyone, today I will be talking about collective crowd behaviors during collegiate football games. This is for class Psychology 510 Qualitative Analysis. Abstract. This proposed study uses naturalistic observation to gain a better understanding of the phenomenon of collective behaviors, specifically during sporting events. This study will be done to gain a better understanding of how our environment influences our behaviors and if there is a certain group of people who are more prone to this phenomenon. A literature review was completed to help further the research for this planned qualitative research proposal. This will explore the topic of collective behaviors, mob mentality, and the influence of our surroundings on our behaviors. Theory summarization. Collective behavior is a spontaneous and temporary behavior that is influenced by a group of people in response to the same event. For this specific research, I will observe sports spectators and their behaviors to better understand how our environments influence our behaviors and can make us do things we wouldn't normally do or that aren't socially acceptable in different circumstances. Collective behavior phenomenon. This phenomenon or theory affects every age group that is present during the event. It can teach children things that may not be appropriate for their age, or it can make people do things they wouldn't normally do. This can be an observed behavior that is copied during a sports game, for example, because it felt right or everyone else is doing it. Laban's crowd theory. This theory states that we are more susceptible to suggestion due to a reduced self-conscious. For example, in this picture, there's a small child flipping off the sports team. They are also more susceptible because of their age, not just their reduced self-conscious. In this picture, the child is flipping off the sports team, and there's a likelihood that they do not know what they're doing and they don't understand the meaning behind their gesture. Aggression in crowds. Those around us can influence how we act and react in certain situations. Aggression is seen frequently during sporting events by both the players and the fans. There are certain traits that have been found to be linked to this aggression in fans, but there are also a connection between team identification and collective narcissism, which can cause someone to be more aggressive. This team identification is how you feel towards your own team and the belief that your team is the best and no one can tell you otherwise. My personal experience with this, I'm a spectator a lot of times at collegiate football games. I also have been the person participating in these behaviors just because of the people around me, specifically my fiance. He likes to shout certain things or say things, and I just follow along because I don't necessarily know 100% what's going on, or that the thing that the players are doing is wrong, or the ref is wrong. Because I don't know a lot about football, I still find myself cheering and heckling the players. I've also seen and heard small children participate in these things without knowing what they truly mean when they say or do certain behaviors, just because of how small and their perceived age. Possible qualitative study on the collective behavior. This research will consist of naturalistic observations of sports spectators during a collegiate football game. During this observation, negative behaviors will be observed, as well as uncommon behaviors that are expected, as well as uncommon behaviors for the expected social norm. So things that seem out of the ordinary or extra negative or extra aggressive. My specific research question is, does a person's environment influence social norms and typical behaviors when exposed to a crowd? Possible qualitative research question continued. To assess this in a qualitative manner, after observation, I would ask the person why they said that. This would work well with younger children who don't always know what's going on at a sporting event. This could be as simple as asking, why did you say or do that? Or do you understand what you just said or did? When data is collected, we could observe the emotions and feelings behind why the action took place, and this would make it qualitative because we're looking at the quality of the questions and answers compared to quantitative where we'd be looking at specific numbers or amounts. Future qualitative study. Researchers expose individuals to a controlled crowd mentality, like a football game. After the game, researchers would ask the individual how the environment made them feel during the game. This feeling could be important to understand why people participate in these behaviors without necessarily understanding why. Conclusion. By gaining a better understanding of this behavior, we could understand more about the mob mentality and collective behaviors. These behaviors are not learned, but they are present in the moment. With this study, hopefully we can understand why these behaviors are present themselves. Thank you.